In today's segment, we'll be talking about how the Clippers might reunite with one of their former players. Before we get into that, though, please like, subscribe, also hit that notification bell so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. We put content out every day, so you won't miss any here. Now, let's just go ahead and jump right into the topic. We already know that the Clippers reunite with one of their former players. And the former player that I was speaking of now is Eric Bledsoe. Eric Bledsoe has been acquired. We know he's here. We know who the Clippers let go for him, which is Patrick Beverley and Rajon Rondo. And there's been rumblings and reports about Rondo possibly going back to the Lakers, reuniting with them. And there's been some other reports here lately about the Clippers reuniting with one of their former players as well, alongside with Eric Bledsoe. Now, the way the Clippers are currently constructed, I like the team the way it is. I would have liked to seen them maybe add a point guard in there, a real, point guard in regards to like a Malcolm Brogdon or Kyle Lowry. But you've heard me say these things before, so that's not nothing new. I would like to see them add somebody like that to the mix because I feel like that's championship type caliber point guards. And well, at least Kyle Lowry is anyway. I don't want to say Malcolm Brogdon is, but what I'm saying is I would have liked to seen them add a point guard who really can control the offense, kind of like what they brought Rondo there for, or at least what they thought they brought Rondo there for, to control the offense, get everybody in position where they can play at the highest level and be able to knock down big shots himself. And those type point guards, a lot of times, can definitely help you win championships, so, and because think about it, like, when you look at LeBron James, like LeBron James is basically a big point guard. Like he gets everybody else in position to knock down big shots. He puts everybody else in position to play at their highest level, but he can knock down shots himself and get to the rim when he needs to and score. And that's pretty much how LeBron James has been living these last few years in the NBA. That's pretty much how he's been surviving and staying afloat as a top player in the NBA because he doesn't have the athleticism and everything he used to have back in the day to do what he used to do. So now he finds other ways to help his team win. And I still think LeBron James is not nearly what he used to be, but still it's little things like that that can help you win championships. If you have the right type of point guard who has the mentality of getting everybody else involved and then getting their own shot when they need it, that's what could help you win championships. I mean, I hate to say it, but LeBron and the Lakers won the championship in the bubble, and then the year before that, what happened? The Toronto Raptors won the championship. They won it because of Kawhi Leonard, but Kyle Lowry did knock down some really big shots in the finals and in a lot of playoff games where, the other team was on an 8-0 run or something like that. And you had a point guard in Kyle Lowry who can knock down a shot, but pass first mentality, get everybody else going, take his shot last or take his shot when needed. When they really needed a big shot to be made or taken or something like that. And that's what I'm saying. You got to have a point guard to do those things. But that's besides the point. The point is when the Clippers acquired Eric Bledsoe, that might have just been a part of what they're trying to do. But this other player I'm talking about that they might be reuniting with and might be acquiring is DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan is a former player of the Clippers. He played really big minutes for them. He was a starter back then. And, of course, I don't think DeAndre Jordan is what he once was defensively, or anything like that. But I definitely think, if the Clippers acquired him, I don't really see how it would hurt the Clippers because you have an extra big body in there. And then on top of that, you're not really sure about Serge Ibaka. We hope Serge Ibaka comes back healthy and play the whole season and in the playoffs. But, coming off back surgery, we saw what happened to Dwight Howard. Players who come off back surgery a lot of times just don't come back the same, and that's something that a lot of Clippers fans and the Clippers organization is definitely thinking about, So now this is how it goes. It's possible that the Nets can just buy out, the contract or whatever of DeAndre Jordan and basically he's bought his way out of there, or he's bought out of his contract from the Nets, and he'll basically be, gone from the Nets. So the reports and things that I've read about it, it's possible that, he will either be looking, if he is bought out, hypothetically, the reports go by and say he will either be looking at the Lakers or the Clippers. Now, who knows which one he would pick if he's bought out by the Nets, but I can definitely see the Clippers putting their foot forward in this situation, especially what they did with Eric Bledsoe. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna reunite one player, well, maybe the organization might think it's okay to reunite with another one, especially one that they thought that showed some value. Now, I know DeAndre Jordan, like I said, is not the player he used to be. I know he's not as, like I said, defensive minded as he was or anything like that. But I still think he's a formidable, really good big man in the league. And I feel like if you have him coming off the bench, I mean, that's a hell of a backup to have when he was a starter like most of his career. Last year, he averaged about 7 points a game and 7 rebounds. Something like that. And that would be all that the Clippers would need, because if you put him on the bench, and he could be far down the bench if that's what they need, but, he could play a huge role in the playoffs, because he would be an extra body that they can throw in there that can still block shots, that can still be a disruption in the paint, and that can still clog up the paint. So there would be no driving lanes to the paint. You know what I'm saying? You'd have DeAndre Jordan in the paint, then you have Kawhi and PG, the wings on the perimeter, Hey, like I said, that's a lot of good defense on the floor, or potential defense on the floor. So, I mean, it's like, to me, if the Clippers did acquire him or get him from the buyout, I don't think it will hurt them at all. Now, I will say it'll hurt maybe Zubac a little bit if Ty Lue found that, if they got DeAndre Jordan, if they found that DeAndre would be a little bit more valuable, it would hurt Zubac some, because it might limit some of his minutes. I'm not sure. But then you got to think about Boogie Cousins coming in there too. But there again, Boogie can just actually play power forward position. He ain't got to play the center position. So really, the center would just be between Ibaka, DeAndre, and Zubac, but I definitely don't think it will hurt the Clippers to have a third string big man coming off the bench like that, where they can actually switch up their rotations a little bit more and be a little bit more dangerous defensively. Because think about it like this: if they had a lineup with, let's say, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Nicholas Batum, DeAndre Jordan, Reggie Jackson in the playoffs, I mean, hypothetically, that would be a really good defensive line. The only person that's not defensive minded on the floor would be Reggie Jackson. But at the same time, Reggie Jackson is your point guard, and he can knock down a shot. He would play the point guard role anyway. He'd be he can score, knock down shots, and all the other 4 guys can really, lock down on defense as much as they can, and their threats to score as well. So this is what I'm saying. That's just a hypothetical, but I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, I don't really see how DeAndre Jordan, if they found a way to get him, if he's bought out by the Nets, I don't see how he would hurt the Clippers at all. I feel like he would actually additionally help to what they already have. And like I said, when you look at the fact of, like I said, Serge Ibaka, like I said, we hope Serge Ibaka comes back the way he was on Toronto a couple years ago, but it's really no guarantee. And, hey, having somebody like DeAndre Jordan backing him up to come in and help out, well, now you got DeAndre Jordan backing him up along with Zubac that would back him up, or either way, how that would go, vice versa. Now you got a 2-headed monster in big men who can protect the paint some, and who can, now I would say Zubac can score a little bit better than DeAndre Jordan, but DeAndre Jordan can play defense a little bit better than Zubac. So it's like they would factor each other out in a good way, I think. So, those are just things that the Clippers organization, I think, are looking at, and they will look at, what I'm saying, if everything goes right as far as the buyout, which I do believe that's probably going to happen with the Nets, because the Nets are looking like they want to go really small, and that's their game plan of going to the season. Because the Nets, the way they are, the way they're constructed, they feel like they got all these shooters and all these scorers and, all this stuff. And, they found somebody in the draft they really like. And on top of that, I think they added Patty Mills to the team. So now they got an extra shooter along with Joe Harris and the big three that they already have. You know what I'm saying? So I think their whole mindset is to go small and attack everybody on offense and don't worry too much about defense. Precisely the reason why I think they didn't even really use DeAndre Jordan like I thought they should have, last year's playoffs or whatever, because I think DeAndre Jordan could have neutralized some of what Giannis was doing. Maybe not a lot, but DeAndre Jordan is a big body, but they ain't even use him like that. So I really feel like the Nets are trying to go another direction. And if that's the case, I think, if the Clippers did jump on the opportunity of acquiring or bringing back DeAndre Jordan, I don't think it would hurt them per se. I think it would only actually help them, especially if he can stay healthy and if he's like your third string big man. And he's a big man who's been in that locker room before, been in that city before, understand with the process and really just trying to win at this stage of his career. I definitely don't think that could hurt the Clippers at all. But hey, that's my take on the situation, and let me know what you think in the comment section. As always, we'll engage, and hey, Cali out.